So on Wednesday, I mentioned about how the basis for an enlightened being and an ordinary human being is exactly the same. So you might be wondering what about the word basis. What's this basis thing? Well, just to use this example, see this drinking glass and this mug, the basis of both of these is glass. Do you see? That's their basis, is glass. Okay. Now, it isn't that when the drinking glass gets enlightened, it doesn't turn to gold. It's still glass, right? The basis is the same between an enlightened being and one of us. Is absolutely identical. There's no difference. And the only difference is in how the basis is comprehended, how it's understood. That's the only difference. Our way of understanding our basis, our way of understanding our mind is our basis, what makes us alive, sentient, Our way of understanding that is that our basis is dualistic mind. And, our entire society, with a very few exceptions, thinks that that's the correct comprehension. What do I mean by dualistic mind? It's awful simple. I am drinking tea. I, object, tea, activity, drinking. It's got these two things. It's got I and other in it. I and other. And this is how we have always seen our basis in terms of dualistic mind. Whereas an enlightened being, when an enlightened being looks at their basis, they look beyond dualistic mind. The word beyond is actually important. They work beyond dualistic mind. And I found this lovely description that Malcolm accidentally, I think, gave about what is a Buddha's experience of the basis. And he says, oh, by the way, because I'm going to give my notes, you don't need to worry too much about writing stuff down. So what he said was that being in a state of lucid, vivid cognizance and clarity, free from grasping at subject and object. The other word for this is, one word for this is rigpa. So I'll say it again. It's going to appear several times in this part of the presentation. Being in a state of lucid, vivid cognizance and clarity, free from grasping at subject and object. So, on the path to freedom, the stuff that we do, the actual nature of our basis is introduced using words and concepts. Now, for example, just an example that you've heard me say all this stuff, about mind, that the contents of mind is mental impressions. That's what's in your mind, are just these mental impressions, So that's a concept, right? But you use these concepts, you use these words to look into your own experience. Do you see? And you ask yourself questions like, do mental impressions have a abiding nature? Do they stay there? And so on and so forth. So you use the concepts and the words to actually look into your own experience. This is so different from believing something. You see, you're not believing something, you're looking into your own experience. So it's not just conceptual, you see. You begin to directly experience the nature of your own basis. Personally, you begin to correctly comprehend the nature of your basis. Not just like some kind of Buddhist conceptual fix. Oh, it's all empty. My mind is empty. It's not a belief, you see, and not just some kind of fix, not just some kind of, And as you experience the nature of your basis, and as you experience it, as your experience of your basis deepens, grasping weakens. It's inevitable. So then you begin to develop confidence in your experience of reality. You begin to develop confidence in your knowledge of yourself, of your mind. And again, you see, this is direct experience. It's not reference points. It's not saying, oh, it's like this. No. It's that you know how it is. You have your own experience. You don't have to construct a framework. It's in your own experience. And okay. So I know this is going on a bit long, but I think it's important. So you develop trust in what you know, and you may even have glimpses of this state of lucid, vivid cognizance and clarity, free from grasping at subject and object. It's a big mouthful, but it's something awful simple. Something awful simple. Something awful natural. And there's an unfortunate aspect, of course, is that even though this lucid, vivid cognizance, is actually our nature, our experience of it does not last very long. So then that's where the question that came up on the previous Wednesday, over 2 weeks ago now, is that, well, how do you establish it permanently? How do you establish this state of vivid cognizance and clarity, free from grasping at subject and object? How do you do that? This is where I thought, I found it. I found the way to explain this. So, actually, you see, this you need to think about. Actually, you cannot establish it because it's already established. It's how things actually are. You see, you can't establish this. It's actually how it is. So, what do you do when entanglement occurs? What do you do when you get caught? Right? What you do is quite simple. It's called chokyak in Tibetan. And it means, it's got two Malcolm explained this recently. It's got two parts to it, chuk and shak. And so, what does chuk mean? It means you put it down. Like you're holding something. This is your entanglement. You put it down. And the second part, the shak, you leave it there. It's as simple as that. You put it down, you leave it there. Now what's happening is this. You see, our problem is, it's been like a seesaw, and we're wondering, why is this part of the seesaw down and this part is up? The answer is you've been putting weight on the wrong side. You see? So what we have to do is we have to shy away from establishing dualistic mind. Do you understand? We're not establishing Rigpa. We're shying away from putting weight into the dualistic way of perceiving reality. How do you do that? Chukchaks. Put it down and you leave it there. Again and again and again. It doesn't stop you from working, it doesn't stop you from doing stuff. It's freeing the entanglement. It's freeing this emphasis on dualistic mind. So that's what we do at the end of all of that. That's what we do. And there's a famous one that Morris mentioned. I was actually there at the time when this happened as well. That Mingyur Rinpoche was drinking a glass of orange juice. It was quite warm, just Lerabling in the summertime. It was quite hot. And he was drinking the glass of orange juice. So he got the glass of orange juice. And he put it down and he says, in that time space, I put it down and left it alone 5 times. My entanglement with my mind. In that time. No, he's an expert. He's an expert. For us, it just happens when you find yourself entangled. Put it down. Leave it there. Don't put weight on the wrong side of the swing. I hope that's clear. So we can just hang out together for a little bit. We can pretend to meditate. But actually, there isn't any meditation. There's just this lucid, vivid cognizance. Free from grasping at subject and object. We're not doing anything. I'll ring a bell just to make it official, okay? Are there like background sounds, when you're sitting here? Can you hear things like traffic or the wind? Or, can you hear sounds like that? Just take a moment just to do that, listen. Is there someone who's listening, or is there just sound? Lucid, vivid cognizance and clarity, free from grasping at subject and object. So when I ring the bell, it doesn't mean you stop. It doesn't mean you rush to get into entanglement. You deserve a break. So I'll ring the bell. But nothing changes. Lucid, vivid cognizance and clarity, free from grasping at subject and object. You can't get away from it. There's a great story about Nushil Kempo and Mingyur Rinpoche. And Nushil Ken says to Mingyur Rinpoche, he says, let's have a bit of fun, you know. Let's have a bit of fun, you know. And he says, let's get deluded. And they couldn't. Because you can. This is what's actually established. This is what's actually established. This is the real thing. Not the pretend. Okay, so I hope that was helpful.
I'm dedicated.
Exactly. Maria told
Oh yeah, dedication.
Yeah. These bloody sentient beings wandering, hurting themselves continuously, lost. May they taste this open, free, natural state that's already there. May whatever merit we have help make that connection for them. How's that?
Perfect.
Thank you
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Bye.
Bye, Cecily.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Yeah.
That's it.